Hey, what's up, guys? If you're listening to this, check the timestamps. We're getting set up right now. So I can get that.
Hello.
Yo,
Hey, can you hear me?
yeah.
Great.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
So you're trying to push the call to 3:30?
I'm trying. We can just stop.
Yeah, and then
The,
just
the call
pick
will
up at
probably
it.
be 10 minutes. I mean, like tops.
Okay. Yeah, if we're supposed to
And
push, we can.
if we stop and I call this guy, talk to him, can we finish it up?
Oh, yep. I'll just
Okay, cool.
literally sit there waiting for you, like
Ugh,
a best girlfriend or something.
you don't have to do that, or we can just rock this bitch
You know
and
what
get it
doesn't
done.
make sense is like
But
Hakuna Matata, meaning no worries. It's like nobody speaks an African language within the universe of the Lion King. Like, is that
that's
for like
true.
the local people or something? Like,
Uh,
they're all speaking English.
well, they are animals speaking English, so they wouldn't be talking at all. First of all.
That's actually number two. I was gonna say.
Okay.
Um, it sounds like shit.
hmm Yeah, sure.
No, no, it sounds like shit.
Sorry.
Like coming from your end.
Oh, my mic.
Yeah, it just sounds like your window open? Or it sounds like you're
No.
talking in a funnel or something. Are you talking to me like the normal way you do?
Yeah, yeah. Here, let me restart Reaper real quick. I'll call you right back.
Okay.
No, I'll do. Let me restart this whole fucking bitch real quick.
And we're live before you say anything racist.
You always say that, and the wrong person's gonna hear that, and they're gonna learn that I actually am terribly, terribly racist.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to like hint at it with.
Might be that bloke English Paul. I see him in the chat room.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
There's
what's
a
up,
couple
English
people in the
Paul?
chat room. Oh,
All right,
hello everybody.
all right. Goodbye.
Almost sounds like there's a vacuum in the distance. Right. Does it still sound like a vacuum in the distance now that he's off the call? Or does it sound good now? Good evening, English Paul. Hey, English Paul, I was actually born in England. Fun fact. I was born in the party city of Ipswich, England. I hear it's a real rager of a city. I moved before I learned how to talk, obviously. But yeah, it's a real big party city, huh? Really nice city, right? Everybody likes it. Every time I talk to somebody from England, they're like, "Oh wow, Ipswich is so amazing." I'm just joking. Everyone's like, "It's a shithole." Yeah, we don't have castles. Castles were out of style by the time America was born.
Hello. Hello. Hey, sorry about that. I completely restarted. I had to do a hard restart. Dylan?
Yep.
Do I sound okay?
Yep. Sound wonderful now. Like, amazing. Because people in the chat were saying how shitty you sounded, but they were being really rude about it. So, anyway. All right.
Hard to believe.
I'm ready to start recording. So, check this out. I recorded a Thor review with 3 people.
Yeah.
And Skype call recorder had updated without me knowing. And it needed to be installed for it to work. So I had a 2-hour conversation. And nightmare scenario finally happened. And I just, like, with my head down, I messaged everybody and was like, hey, guys, like, unfortunately, that wasn't recorded, so... And then one of the 4 people were like, oh, I have call recorder on. I'll send you the file right now. And I was like, oh, my God.
That's lucky.
I know. The odds of that are...
I'm always scared of that. Eddie and I are going to record, like, the best podcast ever.
Right.
The one that just they talk about in the history books, and it doesn't get recorded.
Like, you must have been afraid when I was at your house.
Well, I was afraid for other reasons, but not because of that. Because remember, you were the one that was in danger in my house, not me and my family.
Correct. Very, very true. All right, you recording?
I'm recording.
All right. 1,
2.
Okay. Welcome to the Dead Inside Show. I'm Dylan Shuck, and I've read the Walking Dead graphic novels.
And I'm Dan Fields from Save for the Show, and I have not read the Walking Dead graphic novels.
In this podcast, we'll be discussing the 3rd episode of the 8th season of AMC's original series, The Walking Dead.
In this show, we'll be analyzing the events from the most recent episode of The Walking Dead and comparing how they transpired in the graphic novel without any future spoilers.
And, as always, big shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you want to be a supporter of the show, you can go to patreon.com/watchandtalk. And big shout out to our premium supporters, Shakita, June, and Kaka. And then a monthly shout out, as always, to Diane and Ashley. So thank you guys very much. Also, if you guys hear us refer to somebody in the chat, it's because we stream these episodes live on YouTube, usually midday on Mondays, and you can join in the conversation. All you have to do is search for The Watch and Talk and subscribe on YouTube, and it'll give you a notification. Or if you follow us on Twitter, I usually tweet out a couple hours before and tell you guys when we're...
Now, just to clarify, because Dylan is a California-centric piece of shit, that's midday Pacific Standard Time.
Sorry, I don't know why I didn't say that. But
okay.
I feel... Well, no, I guess... Well, usually we'll go around noon, which is still midday on the East Coast.
No.
But we have English Paul, who listens in England, and it's evening there.
Yes,
crumpets.
But also 3 p.m. is not midday. Don't talk about this. No one's here for the small talk. They want to talk about zombies, Dylan.
They want to hear about all the zombies and zombie apocalypse, huh?
Yes.
Well, what say you we just get right into the episode, shall we?
So shout out to Sean and Fonzie from our Fantasy Football League in my podcast, because they listen to this podcast too, and they loved my King Ezekiel impression. Maybe I should just do the entire podcast as King Ezekiel.
I would love that, to be quite honest. Okay. One thing I do have to say is we complained about how confusing everything is, right?
Yeah.
How we don't know where everybody is, what they're attacking, what their plan is, who is with who, and who is not with who, and yada, yada, yada.
Correct.
So we got a lot of responses with people saying, I was under the impression that they did this, or I thought that they did this to try to let us know, right, to fix it. But the fact is, everybody says, I think.
Right.
Like,
you're correct.
Every single person that tweeted us or emailed us in to correct us are saying, I think. And nobody knows. Like, nobody knows exactly what's going on. Because I don't think they showed anybody and was like, hey, we're going to show you our episode we edited together. Can you tell us if it makes sense? And if they did, they'd talk to some yes man.
Right. No, it's stupid. Not only that, the show sometimes it's like, hey, we're going to try a new editing technique where we're doing these weird fades or something. Like, the show has no coherent voice every week. Like
Right.
if somebody new gets in the editing studio and wants to try out some
It's clearly
Instagram
being done by
filters.
different people every episode, and
And
normally
that's
they
fine, I
have some
guess.
consistency through episodes. It's still like every show has that, but there's still some consistency through the episodes, and this is not really showing much of it.
Yeah.
Like it
All
doesn't
right.
really feel like it's like it's always two people like different people working on every episode, but this feels like they're not talking to each other
Mm-hmm.
and saying, "Hey, this is what happened in the last episode."
How does that even work? Like you're on set, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, everybody, we got a new director for these scenes."
No, to my understanding, and I've never been like in the room, but they'll have writers meetings of all the writers working together, and everybody spitballs off each other, and then somebody is assigned from this part to this part, and they're like, "All right, you write about that," and then while they're writing, they're also talking to other writers. Same with directors. There's like a director's room where they all kind of discuss what they're going to be doing together.
Interesting.
And it feels like they didn't spend much time in that room together.
No. Well, anyways, this one was better. This was a more enjoyable episode than last week's, and that's all that matters. But not by much.
No, it is. It's just okay. We'll get into it. We'll talk about it. It's a better. It's just less. It's less frustrating. That's for sure. I have less to complain about. Although I'm sure I have some things to complain about. I just feel like I have less.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, let's get into the episode. The episode is called Monster, and I'm assuming it's referring to Daryl at this point. No, I think they're saying that. I think it came up in the conversation with Morales.
Right. I think that's the whole point of this episode in particular is really who is the monster and who's good, who's bad. Shades of gray.
Almost 50 of them.
Shades of gray, gray like my dreadlocks cascading down my back. I promise I won't do another King Ezekiel. That's
Please don't.
obnoxious, terrible.
All right. So at the beginning of the episode, we spent a lot of time with King Ezekiel and his like battle morale techniques.
Yeah.
And he starts off with him telling everybody that all these people are coming to kill us, and yet I smile. And it's like, okay, we've already heard the yet I smile soliloquy, but that's fine.
Right.
And then it shows how they trick the saviors into thinking they've surrendered, but they have other people in the bushes, and they.
Which, real quick, the saviors tricked them by hiding, and then they tricked the hiding saviors by hiding. So it's almost like, who's hiding? How are you not seeing each other hiding to do the hiding? Like
hiding inception.
Yeah, it's silly. But okay, sure.
So
and also, sorry, they're like shooting automatic weapons like around each other, through each other,
right?
And not one stray bullet
is
clipping any of the kingdom people.
Completely with you.
Whatever.
So then he says, "We will lose not one our ranks." And then we see Shiva not necessarily looking as good as she has in the previous two episodes, but that's fine. They had her trying to do more. And I also the idea that they have this trained and shit is a little outlandish, but yeah, we were corrected by English Paul in the chat that the episode's called Monsters.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Not Monster. Oh, thank you.
Right. Monster as an homage to the movie starring Charlize Theron.
Right. Or Monster Ball with Billy Bob Thornton, Halle Berry's second.
How great was he in Fargo season 1?
Very good.
Yeah, and I'm late to that. I just watched those a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
jeez.
wow.
Both those. I can't wait to watch
season 2. I haven't seen 2.
Oh.
Anyway. So, standoff with Morales.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're the Rick from Alexandria? The whole time it was you?" I think the actor who plays Morales does a really bad job. It was really almost corny.
It was a little ham-handed. Yeah.
And he like keeps bulging his eyes out when he's talking, and it's just like, what are you doing? Anyway.
Real quick, if I was him, if I was in any situation where I had a prisoner as tough and volatile as a guy like Rick, shoot him in the leg. Shoot him in the hand. Like, tie him up. Do something. Anything in order to incapacitate them. Instead of, he got him grandstanding. Like some goddamn James Bond villain, he bought time by getting him to talk.
Right.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's he's like, the whole time it was you, which is interesting. This whole time he's sort of a Rick that's from Alexandria, and he doesn't realize it's a guy that he actually knew for a couple days. Um, yeah. See, this again. This would be an interesting idea if they didn't make all the saviors mustache twirling people. If they made them all think that what they were doing was right, but no, Mara was rude to her people, and the one dude that pissed his pants talked about killing babies, and they're come off all as evil like Negan.
Right.
And I wish that Negan was manipulating them to do his evil deeds by making him think like he's lying to everybody that Rick and his group are evil. Even though they kind of come across as evil in this episode, but we'll talk about that one.
I guess Negan has a case to make, especially after they sort of slaughtered them the first time in the satellite depot,
right.
Where he could go back and spin it fake news to to Negan's own people, but then all they would have to do is look at Negan and see that he has a goddamn harem. He throws people in an oven. Like, Rick and his team can sometimes be bad, but they treat each other with respect. They treat each other well. They try to. Yeah. Negan's not even trying.
Right.
It's just complete horseshit, rapey town over there.
Right. And, yeah, like I said, Mara was just being rude to her people before she got eaten by her own people as it turned to walkers for some reason. So Morales thinks they're all monsters, and we've been told. And, he said we've been told we don't kill Rick or the widow or the king.
Right.
Like, he's like, we were told that or whatever. I don't understand why he said that. Why were they told they don't kill them?
I guess because they're good bargaining chips. And why doesn't Rick have a cool nickname like the widow or the king?
Right. Like the sheriff.
Because I don't remember what it was. Maybe Terminus, where there was this whole the Archer and the Thing. Right. Like, they had some fun names for them where I thought we were going to get into some coolness, right. And that never really played itself out.
Right. So anyway, there's a bunch of scenes of walkers just grubbing on people, and I really like that because they've kind of gone away from that.
Yeah, and nothing's like fall except Halloween, Thanksgiving, and zombies eating people's faces.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's funny because they make it seem like the skin is really just stretching out while they're trying to clamp down on it. Their teeth can't really, like, they can break the skin, but then they have to peel it away, or the cartilage or something. Like, the really stringy, gross human meat. Have you ever eaten human?
Once in college. It was good. It's good. Hey, I wonder if vegetarians have a hard time watching this show, because I know I have a sister who's a hardcore vegetarian and has been her whole life, and I always feel kind of bad if I eat ribs in front of her or chicken wings, and she would never say anything. But I wonder if they have a point where they're watching this show and they think, oh, God, I can't even watch this.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't I don't eat beef or pork, and when people eat it in front of me, it's never like a problem, or like, I don't know. I guess, I mean, I still eat chicken or fish, but
wait, hold on. Why don't you eat beef or pork? Would you eat chicken?
I just gave them up.
Why?
I could go on forever, but that would be a podcast episode.
Okay, fine.
But anyway, so outside of wherever all the people are that just stormed Mara and their people, they stop getting gunshots back at them, and then so they start moving in.
Right.
Let's talk about Eric and Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron does some fine acting, if you say.
Aaron or Eric?
Aaron.
You say Aaron?
I mean, Eric is fine.
Oh. But I know we've talked about this before, but Aaron has those impersonation clips. You've seen those, right?
I think so.
Where he'll do, like, Christopher Walken applying to be on The Sixth Sense.
Right.
Stuff like that. Or Kevin Spacey, which,
too soon.
That's a little stale these days. Yeah. But yeah, Google that. Like, after you listen to this podcast, Google Ross something is his last.
Marquand or something.
He's a great actor, and you're right. He's great in this.
I'm afraid that now I'm not going to get that out of my head, though, in dramatic scenes.
Which one?
Is him playing Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Try your best.
Anyway, so like I said, Aaron does some good acting, and Eric, is dying, and Aaron's all upset, and he blames himself, and he's like, "You weren't the one that shot me." And then he says to go, I don't believe that he would leave him.
Me neither.
Like, would you leave your wife to go? Like, would you leave your wife? I wouldn't leave your wife.
No, I know you wouldn't. I might, but I know you wouldn't. Not
No,
until you
but
stole her panties. Uh, inside joke. Sorry, everybody. So I wouldn't leave, but if he didn't leave, he kind of, it seemed, sort of rescued them, right? I mean, I know they shot the fire extinguisher, which was like, Jesus Christ, the most video game moment I've ever seen.
or is that kind of an environmental kill?
It definitely is an environmental move where you look for something, but I guess he kind of helped save them. So if he had stayed, maybe they would have died. I don't know. But yeah, I would have stayed.
Because he did show up and save them. So maybe we would have lost Rick and Daryl, but Daryl's clearly a monster anyway. So,
boy, he sure is.
So
Eric did good too. You know, Eric, I feel like he's always been this like foil to Aaron, and he's so wishy-washy about going into battle. But he really kind of, I think, found his place, and of course he got killed but he had a sense of humor the whole time too, which I like. The show could always use a little sense of humor, and I'm sad to see him go, especially now that he's in eternity as a freaking zombie.
Yeah, and left to be that. How like you think you want to put him out of his misery?
Boy, that would be hard, right?
So Tara on the back of the truck, aiming at the prisoners.
Hold on, I'm sorry, real quick. Let's go back to what you said there, because I agree. Like, and my wife yelled at the TV, like, "Why aren't you going to go kill him? Like, why don't you try to shoot him?" Because I feel like that's a sentence worse than death, right? For his boyfriend that he loves to now stagger the planes, potentially killing other humans. So why not just chase him down, shoot him, or stab him? Maybe they want to bury him too. Like, doesn't he deserve a proper burial back at Alexandria?
I can believe.
But I guess they had to go.
So
Tara.
She's in.
What? What are you doing?
This is so scary when you say something like that. Anyway,
when I what?
Nothing. I prayed the time and.
Did I say a spoiler?
What?
Did I say a spoiler?
No. I just lost track, and then I lost track of what I was saying, and then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take an example.
Okay.
Really encourage myself. Anyway.
Okay.
So when we back they're like, when we get back, we'll talk to Maggie. She'll know what to do with them. One of the guys randomly. Really weird thing to say for this guy to randomly be like, oh yeah, whatever Maggie says, we'll just go along with it. Like,
yeah,
they have had her take charge very quickly, and it was just weird. And it's also weird that that then Tara's like, yeah, she'll know because she knows what they did, because these are some of the people that had damaged it.
Glenn.
So I don't know. I can't stand what's up with Tara right now, like, at all. She's becoming Tyrese right now.
Well, she was kind of like Eric, where she was sort of tough but tender and kind of funny and had a sense of humor about all this. And now all of a sudden, yeah, I know they killed her girlfriend too.
Yeah, but it was still a little while ago. That didn't just happen.
It was an eternity ago, as far as this show is concerned. And she was supposed to be sort of like the humility and the humble and the heart on the show kind of character. And now she's turned into straight up hardcore Ricky town. Yeah, I don't like it at all either. But you know what? The one thing, I think a lot of the people that are in this group are Hilltop people. And so they probably hate Gregory. And so Maggie is a breath of fresh air to them. So maybe that's why they took to her leadership so quickly.
So that guy Jared, what's it called? What's his name? Damn it, the bad guys. Why am I blanking?
Saviors?
Saviors, yes, thank you. So Jared, who's the weirdo guy, they're not doing a good job of even making it understand what's going on with us.
But you mean the guy, I'm sorry, with the long hair?
Right.
Okay, because he killed Ben, was that his name?
Benjamin, yeah.
Yeah, which was a super close friend of
Morgan. he was
Morgan.
mentoring. And he just
Right.
keeps messing with Morgan. It seems like he wants Morgan just to kill him, but then he really seems to be not afraid at all of him. So
Oh,
it's like it
Jesus.
doesn't even seem like he's trying to get killed. It just doesn't make sense. It's not even know what his plan is. So whatever. And Morgan's all pissed that they have them alive, and he's like, and then Jesus like, no matter what they've done, they're people and they've surrendered, and that we don't execute. I don't know. Again, I don't. It just makes sense why this wasn't discussed before. Right? You know, he has this plan that he's controlling, but
Also, I know his name's Jesus, and he has been pretty soft at times. But even this is too much for him. Like he's never shown this much sort of compassion for these people,
Right.
and it's just too much. There's like 25 of them. They're walking down the street. There's no way this is going to end well.
right, and also, even if one of them, comes alive and kills somebody, it's dangerous. It's just a dangerous situation.
Totally. And so, yeah, when the walkers start just Red Rover, flopping down the hill like idiots, they should just let him eat them. Just eat them all.
English Paul in the chat says, Jared to me seems like nothing more than a character the audience is supposed to hate, but he doesn't have enough dimensions for it to be effective. Completely agree. It's supposed to be like this character, everyone's like, ooh, we hate him. But it's like he's so unrealistic that I don't even hate him.
Yeah, he's just a turd.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, Morales isn't a very good actor, like I said. He says he didn't make it to Birmingham. And then Rick's like, yeah, well, me too. Lori, we lost a bunch of people too. Lori, Shane, Andrea, Glenn. And he said Negan killed him in front of his pregnant wife. Morales seems
That's
to be
the
affected
widow.
by the fact that she's the widow. And that he was like, oh, she was married? And he's like, they've got married since, which I appreciated instead of them, like sweeping the fact that he's married under the board. He had to have what happened explained, which I think was a good touch, which is sometimes unlike the show. Sometimes unlike the show to think that through.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he says, the Saviors, they found me, and they thought I was worth a damn. So yeah, I'm Negan.
Right. Because he's such a terrible guy, he could have probably joined any group.
Right.
I mean, he was probably down deep in a hole, and Negan picked him up because he was suicidal or drinking or who knows, like an abusive boyfriend would do.
I predicted that he was there from Negan's start point. I think that was apparently a wrong prediction, but who knows? I mean, it seemed like soon after they met up, and Negan had to have started somewhere. So I wonder what Negan was before. What he was before. I hope they have a flashback episode.
Well, I'm guessing, unless you're doing a good job of hiding it, they don't talk about that in the graphic novel. You don't have to say that. But I hope so, too. I hope before he dies, which, of course, he will at some point, that we get a little insight into how he became this way.
So then Daryl comes up and shoots him in the head with an arrow. And Rick says, no! He's like, that was... I know who it was. Don't matter one bit. What? Daryl had no reaction.
Shit.
Daryl had no reaction. Maybe he was around the corner. He listened in and heard that it was Morales.
I bet he did.
It's weird that he didn't react to it. You'd think, but anyway, Daryl has something going on with him right now, so we'll talk about that as it goes along. So Daryl keeps fucking with Morgan, and he mocks him for wearing Benjamin's armor, which I don't even know if he's actually doing, but he's like, didn't do shit for him. Seems like he's just trying to get killed. He wants to die.
Gosh, he really is, isn't it?
Is that what's happening? He wants to end it so he doesn't get captured or something like that? I wish they were letting us know what he was trying to do. But anyway, Morgan turns the gun on him, and then Walker show up.
Or just maybe cause complete chaos and anger. But yeah, I don't get what his end goal is here at all either.
So when the Walker show up, for one quick second, they hear them. We see a couple tumbling down the hill, and the next split second, they're all over them. This is one of the worst edited scenes I ever remember seeing on TV.
Yeah, I know.
It was so
they're everywhere.
Yeah, it was just like, because here's the thing is, they, they are all well armed.
To the teeth right now.
Right, and they have a ton of distance from them in that forest. So they had to edit this stupid to have them get surrounded, but it just didn't seem like they could possibly get surrounded. So it seemed really fake.
Yes.
It was like distractingly poorly edited, and we're getting agreements in the chat room about that. It was awful. That was probably my worst part of the episode. I think we should add that to the segments as the worst part in this. What about the walker biting the dude's skull?
Yeah.
Hard to bite a skull. Hard to bite a skull.
First, I mean, open your mouth, like unhinge your jaw like a snake, I guess, and then crush through. Now, because this was an alive person. So, and this is something that's really just, I hate to get zombie 101 here, but I never know when you die. Or let's say you're alive, and I'm tasty to a zombie, right? So he's eating me. Like, at what point do I turn and then I'm not appetizing anymore to a zombie, so they would stop eating me and move on? Like, since zombies don't eat each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's like that point there where I'm probably zombie of brain, but my body and my meat is still tasty and bloody.
Yeah.
Does the flavor of my meat change?
At what point does a walker, like, they eat you until you turn? And Shane turned within how long?
I know, too fast.
A minute or less?
I'm just curious. Like, what are the rules here? Just tell me the rules so I know what to do. There are no real rules. So, anyhow.
I do have to say, we kind of skimmed past it, and we want to discuss one thing about Morales' death. Did not expect that. Did not expect him to die immediately. So that was kind of a surprise.
Oh, not at all. I thought he was going to be hanging around for a couple episodes.
Right. I thought he was a new cast member almost. So I think that was actually a good surprise, if you ask me, like, because I had to come to the acceptance of it. I was like, wait, what? What is going on?
Also, the sound effect too of just like when he gets shot in the head, the twang of that crossbow, which is kind of iconic on the show. And then you're right, Daryl's just stone cold. I know who it was. Yeah. Just moving on. Like,
he was
damn.
the guy that we used to be with.
Right.
And that matters to Rick. By the way, it's funny to see Tara say, well, Rick will agree with me. It doesn't seem like it, because it seems like Rick is on the let people survive side.
Right.
He offered people immunity originally when in the standoff with Negan. And then he's been offering immunity whenever he could.
Right.
So, I don't know. And so Jared and group during the shootout with the walkers, they try to make an escape, and then Morgan, while shooting them, shoots a walker and blood splatters on the camera, and I love that shit. I thought that was good. Even though it was CGI blood, unlike the final episode of Breaking Bad, they did that, except it was real blood that splattered. If you remember that.
Yes. Practical blood, not like real blood.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant. But yeah, Morgan runs after them, and then he starts shooting them one by one, but Jesus comes and stops him.
Right, so he shot real people that were tied with their ropes. So at this point now, they have dead weight, too.
Right.
Like, they shouldn't be able to escape.
They did cut that dude off.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I must have missed that.
I mean, when they all leave together, they left that dude that got killed.
Okay.
But anyway,
of course they got away.
Jesus and Morgan start fighting, and they actually start fighting. And during it, Ezekiel and Co storm a compound, and it's like, in the middle of all this, you get scenes of him giving big speeches, and then also Daryl and Rick are dealing with the Saviors who came back because Morales had called them. It's almost weird to see Daryl using a gun.
Yeah.
They're so used to seeing him use that crossbow, even though he lost the crossbow for. But yeah, Daryl runs out of ammo, and then Rick shoots like we discussed earlier, shoots an extinguisher.
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Horse shit.
And that created some smoke and helps him get through the situation.
Right.
And then Aaron shows up and saves the day. Meanwhile,
you know what I want to do? I want to get a fire extinguisher and take it out in the desert and shoot it with a gun.
Yeah. You gotta go there.
Doesn't that seem dope?
Eddie's our gun expert on the show. Shout out to Eddie.
One time when I was a kid, I stole a bunch of cans of Barbasol from underneath my sink, and I went into the desert and I threw a huge rock on it, and it exploded. Oh my god, it was amazing.
Gnarly explosion?
No, I just shot shaving cream everywhere. It was great.
I gotta try that out myself.
Do it, buddy. You earned it.
So meanwhile, Morgan and Jesus kept fighting, and Jesus pretty much wins the fight, throws him back his staff, and then he takes the staff up to his throat. Battle.
By the way, what Jesus' neck looked like the longest, weirdest turtleneck I've ever seen in my life in that scene. And like, go back through and watch it. It's the oddest looking neck ever.
So Morgan realizes he's having like an episode, and he says, "Okay, I know I'm not right. But it doesn't make me wrong."
Yeah, like he's bipolar or something.
He's having some issues, and Tara is like, "Morgan, you are right." So Gregory comes back to the hilltop like a little weasel.
Oh God!
And I love how he tries to play it cool, and Maggie just yells, "Shut your damn mouth!" I love how she shuts him up like she's talking to a child.
Right, because remember, it was only that's how you talk to kids. It was only a year ago, a season ago, where he didn't even know her name,
right.
And like a dickhead was confusing her name, and yeah, the tables have quite turned.
And then one of the funnier scenes, he says, she said something that he'd done with Cal, and then he's like, Cal's delusional. And then Cal pops his head out and it's like, what the hell, man? And he's like, oh, you can be a little dramatic like that time with the pancakes. He's like, you mean that time you ate a little girl's pancakes? He's like, I didn't eat a little girl's pancakes.
Right. God, I was hoping Cal was just going to shoot him.
I hope we get a flashback episode about these pancakes.
About the sorghum pancakes?
Sorghum pancakes. What is that?
It's like a type of wheat, I think, that they were growing. Because here's the thing, like, I know we're not supposed to be rooting for the saviors to all be dying, monsters, whatever. Like, we can't stoop to their level. But Gregory deserves to die. He sold them out. He's a piece of shit. He will not change. Like, hello. How many times do we have to do this trope on the show where it's like, are you evil? Can you change? We did this with the wolves, like, over and over. That was the entire premise of the wolves storyline.
This is so much of this is reused.
Yeah.
Are we gonna stoop to their low? Or are we better than them? We've dealt with this many times in the show. It just is completely recycled and uninteresting.
Right. Enough already.
And then I love Gregory saying, I was trying to save lives. And some people that aren't bent on vengeance might call that heroic.
Right, you're a hero. Thanks, right. Gregory.
Yeah.
You heroic piece of shit.
Yeah. In the chat, somebody said, I hate the character of Gregory, but I really enjoy the actor's performance. He makes me laugh my hat off. Completely with you.
That's true.
This guy was from 24. His name's Xander Berkeley. He's one of my favorite characters on 24 ever, and I think he does a great weasel job. And he was kind of a weasel. Went out like
What season of 24 was he on?
First and
I don't remember.
First and second.
I must have watched it. I don't remember him. Maybe I didn't watch it.
Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, he begs and she lets him back in because she doesn't want to be like them.
Oh, I get it.
Me too. And
which, by the way, is pretty funny though, because Tara's running down the street saying how cutthroat and bloodthirsty that Maggie is,
right.
But meanwhile she lets this bastard in,
right?
And then comes to the chickens come home to roost when all of them get there. Or when
somebody says that Rick, last episode they said Maggie will know what to do, and they're like, well, Rick will side with me. Doesn't seem like Rick's siding with you at all.
No, the tables have turned.
It doesn't seem like anybody is like for executing people, but anyway, whatever. So they immediately arrive with the prisoners, and then Gregory argues they can't be in. And I love how she silenced him with a loud, Gregory!
Like a dog.
Like a dog or a child, and sends him off.
Yeah.
And
I've seen you yell at Mamba like that on Snapchat before.
Yes, it's very true. I do that on Snapchat.
That's Dylan's dog, by the way.
So, and Jesus is like, we can't let them go, and we can't kill them. And then we see a lot of scenes of walkers grubbing down on dead people, and Daryl and Rick coming through, and putting them all. This is after Aaron saved them, by the way.
Right.
And then Rick's taking some Polaroids. Do we know? Is he scrapbooking?
They haven't paid that off yet, though.
Right, and they see him writing something in a notepad and folding it up. So it seems like he is in my. I'll say that for my prediction.
Mm-hmm. I think he's got a sweet tumbler.
Yeah.
that he's just populating with this.
So Aaron goes back to Eric, and he's not there, and he sees him walking up the road, and Aaron is really good in this.
Yeah.
And then he offers to take the baby Gracie, offers to take her back to the hilltop because Eric and him are going to go back there, and he has to finish a plan that he
And he's sad. I mean, I guess he's got death in his life, so why not take this little baby, which
Let me get away from everything.
Exactly. And I don't know where's he going to put this baby. He's just going to roll around on the ground of the car. I guess he could put it in his lap.
Maybe he'll get stormed on the way back, too.
Maybe he'll get what?
Maybe he'll get stormed on the way back by himself.
Right, seriously.
Because
I don't know how
he's looking for safety, so it's like that's a good foreshadowing for...
I was kind of wondering what they were going to do with this baby, and if it was going to become part of the show, and how that was going to work out. I think that's actually part of my prediction this week.
Some guy shoots at Rick and Daryl, and Rick says he gives him his word. They'll let him live if he tells them what he needs to know. And then he asks about where the type of gun is, and he said it had been moved to Gavin's outpost. And then he says, "Am I free to go?" And Daryl puts him down.
And this guy's like a big nerd.
Right.
He's like, eh. Yeah, and the guns he asked about are like a Browning 50 caliber, and even I know it's like a badass.
That's the gun that we see in the final scene.
Right. I mean, this is like a cannon.
Right.
Not a cannon. I mean, the bullets that come out of this thing they're 50 caliber. They're huge.
Yeah, it's like Saving Private Ryan weapons, like on the beach.
Yes. Yeah, I think they're like, people are going to be screaming at us right now. They have like a tripod. Like they're that big. Like you don't really carry these guns, I don't think. You have to mount them.
So, after he kills this guy in cold blood, Rick looks at him like, dude.
Yeah, that one was a little much, even for me.
Okay, that was a little much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what's up Daryl right now, but yeah, he's a monster himself. So,
I'm sorry. He had to eat dog food for a month and listen to "You're on Easy Street." Did it. Like he's not over it. And I think if anyone has the right to be like that, okay. Tara didn't earn that right. If Daryl wants to kill people in cold blood,
Daryl's a darker dude in general.
Yeah, that's what he does. He kills people. Tara does not.
It looks like Ezekiel and them are at Gavin's outpost. We assume
Who's Gavin? Real quick.
Gavin is the guy he's the other savior leader who like let some of them go or whatever. He made a deal with them last year or whatever. He also came out. He was one of the people out with Rick.
The Kingdom.
Yeah, right. Remember, I think when Jared killed somebody, he started lecturing Jared.
Yes, is he sort of like he's the squirrely looking dude with the sort of frizzy hair who would go to the drop-offs at the Kingdom and seemed like he had a nice guy.
He's never come off as evil, right? He just is coming off as a guy that's doing his job.
He's the kind of guy that deserves a second chance, and that could be part of the Kingdom. You know what I mean?
Why I think he won't survive.
Probably not. No,
because he actually deserves it. Yeah, he when Jared kills Benjamin, Gavin really reamed Jared for it, and I'm assuming that's why Jared was transferred.
Yes. Okay. I just Googled Gavin Walking Dead just to kind of see his face, and it said he was in Slabtown, and I said, "What? How is that even possible?" There was another character named Gavin who was in Slabtown, and I was about to say, "Wow," but no.
He seemed in the chat. English Paul said he seemed really sad when Benjamin got killed. Genuinely.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So it looks like they're at Gavin's outpost, and they're all stoked about not losing one of their ranks. And then out of nowhere, the gun came out and started mowing down. And a couple of people grabbed Ezekiel and doggy piled them, and the episode cut out right then. Really weird ending, really weird way to end it, but whatever.
So, I mean, of course we don't think Ezekiel died, but I would say I think those bullets go through a person into another person.
It showed them like confetti spraying out of people because it's I think you can. It's anti armor spells.
Right, red mist, pink mist, or whatever they call that
You can
in
take
Battlefield.
cars and planes and boats with it.
Yeah, for reals.
Anyway, Eddie, you go ahead and correct us. Anyway,
Yeah.
you ready to switch over to the segments?
Yeah, let's do it.
Our segments, we go over our awards from the episode. Let's get started with the first one, which is the worst decision.
Mm-hmm. I'll go first, buddy. My worst decision is just, I know they're not supposed to be bad. I know they're supposed to have humanity. We're supposed to move on. We forget about these things. But I really just think they should have killed all those saviors. You draw a line in the sand. It sucks. It's awful. But this is a war, and it's terrible. And maybe there are certain ones that can survive. But those people in particular at that outpost, I remember reading once or hearing once that Negan would sort of send the worst of the worst away, to be away from the women and children. So all those people out there are bad. These are all just trash survivors. And I don't know how they do it.
I don't agree that you can just kill all these surrendering people. But they've killed so many of their, if they've killed so many of their people that
right.
It's not like these
What's
guys
it matter?
It's not like these guys are going to be safe to be around.
Mm-hmm. Never. They never will be. So I think it's a bad decision. It's going to come bite him in the butt.
Jesse in the chat said that the gun is made to have bullets go through him.
Oh, so yeah, it's definitely going to go through some flesh right into Ezekiel.
My worst decision was Rick not clearing things up with Daryl moving forward after he killed that dude surrendered. I'd be like, hey, I just gave him my word. We're not going to do that.
You're right.
It's time for Rick to be a little more of a leader.
They could have had at least a little bit of a back and forth. Like, that's not how we do things, right. Daryl.
Right. Although we don't want to hear this from anybody. We're complaining every time we hear it. It just
I know. It's not who we are.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get to the next one. It's the best kill.
This one's tough for me. What did you get this week?
Morales. It was a big surprising moment. If it wasn't for that, I would say the blood splatter of Morgan killing and the blood splattering on the camera. Yeah.
No, I wrote down Daryl cold blood killing Morales or him shooting that fucking nerd. And then I jokingly was going to say that there was that scene, you're right, when the zombie was eating the head. I mean, I think that was a good special effect.
I just don't know how they can even bite down on the head. I think they would lower it down to your shoulder, I don't know what.
Right.
I don't know what. I guess they want to try something new. I can't imagine my head getting bit. But if anybody out there wants to get their head bitten for the show, write us in and let us know how it was.
Like, if you're a lion, you know to attack a gazelle in its fleshy neck or somewhere. You don't bite it on its skull. And I don't know. Zombies don't have millions of years of evolution telling them the fleshy parts of humans to bite. So maybe they're stupid and they would just like gnaw on a bone skull that they couldn't get through. But I still think they would probably go for necks. They seem to bite cheeks a lot. They show them biting cheeks quite a bit too. So whatever.
Cheeks make more sense than skull.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Anyway, let's get into the next one, which is the best line.
Mm-hmm.
I like Morgan saying, "I know I'm not right, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong."
I had that one written down, and I know we gave the show a lot of grief for these shades of gray. And I had a similar one when Morales said, "Look, we're just two assholes doing whatever it takes, and right now I'm just luckier."
Yeah, he said if it was you with a gun, my brains already splattered out. And he said, "It's not that true. That's not true." And I'm like, I think that is true because you guys are just killing everybody without.
Right. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Let's get into the next one. It's a prediction.
Yeah. I think the obvious prediction is that Ezekiel's not dead now, but I still stand by my prediction that I think he will die this half season. I just think there's just not enough room for his personality anymore. We have enough other personalities. He's been a great character on the show, but I think he would be one that if we lost him, we could suffer through it and move on. He's not Rick. He's not Carol or Daryl. So that's my prediction still.
I think, my sub prediction I'd say is Jerry's alive. He has to survive. Hoping he.
Yeah, he better be alive. Oh, Tobin didn't die. which we forgot to
I
bring
thought
up.
that he got a bullet and left, and then he seemed to be chilling there.
Yeah, he hangs. He hangs.
Yeah, he is such a background character now.
I know. I'm sorry. What's your prediction?
How about what the picture for? I have a feeling that he's taking the pictures and putting them with a note and trying to send them to
Negan,
the Negan or the Saviors, and saying, "Hey, we took over your
That's
outposts,
good.
and you got to surrender."
I like that. Yeah, because he can't exactly send him an email. You know, he's got to get hard evidence. I have another sub prediction, and like I said, I was kind of surprised that they took the baby, and it made me wonder: are we going to have more babies? Yeah, and so I don't think there's room for 2 babies on the show, and I hate to say it, but I wonder if Gracie, or God forbid, even Judith, like, will the show stoop to that level where an infant gets killed?
I don't think.
That'd be too much.
I mean, they could. I think
Here's
we've seen a baby die on the show before.
It would be like this: like, Rick is holding Judith, and then he moves, and there's a gunshot, and he moves his hand away, and there's blood, like on her dress or something. Like, it would be something like tasteful as that could be. And then who knows what happened? Like, there's that scene where he's crying, begging for mercy. Who knows?
In the graphic novel, and it obviously split off from this a long time ago. But when the governor stormed the prison, that's when Laurie was killed, and the baby was killed. It's crushed. Like when Laurie was running with her, the bullet went through. The baby got crushed. So
interesting.
So Judas has been long dead, but they made it clear that they're diverting from that.
Right. So she could be. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll see.
Let's get to the next one. It's the tweet of the week.
Yeah.
This is from Paul, and it said, "Why the hell did that nerd even shoot at Rick and Daryl when they didn't even see him and he was outnumbered?"
Right. Just run away, you jackass.
Or just sit there and wait for them to leave.
Right. Or it'd be a better shot, for Christ's sake.
He also has a good prediction. Paul had a good prediction that the flash forward scene, that could have been Gracie, not Judith.
Oh, only one kid though. Yeah. Or maybe Judith wasn't around. She's taking a shit.
Yeah. So who knows? I like that. Okay, so let's see. On Reddit, somebody said, so here's the character scorecard. Rick is questioning whether or not they should be killing anyone. This was from Dragonborn316. Rick is questioning whether or not they should be killing anyone. Morgan is questioning why they aren't killing everyone. Tara is telling everyone who will listen that they should be killing everyone. Daryl is killing everyone. And Jesus is refusing to kill anyone.
Yeah.
So everybody's in a different place right now.
Where's Carl at? What's Carl want to do? He probably wants to kill everyone.
Moseying around leaving food for Muslim guys out there.
Right.
Do we have to cut this off right this second, or should we?
No, in fact, let's just wrap it up. I emailed them and told them I'm going to be a few minutes late, so let's keep rocking.
Hold on, let me see. Okay. All right, so this was a quick episode this week. I don't think there was a ton. I mean, obviously there wasn't a ton to break apart. I think they're just kind of going through a lot of motions, so this episode was quicker than.
I'm sick of gunfights. I really hope the next episode we sort of get into one of these sort of conversational, I don't know, Michonne situations, because I've been missing seeing her around too.
We don't usually talk about future episodes, but apparently the next episode is a Carol-centric episode.
Oh, okay. Great.
So it sounds like she's going to get split up from whatever this gunshot thing happened.
Interesting. Okay.
Reviews. We are in need of some reviews. Like I said last week we haven't gotten reviews in a long time, and nothing changed. So if you don't mind, somebody out there has written us a review. There's thousands of people to listen to this, so and we don't have 1,000 reviews. So the 900 plus of you guys that are listening to this on iTunes, just take a second to read us a review. We're gonna read it on the air.
Yeah.
And we'll have fun with it. And it's just I miss reviews, and I haven't gotten one in a long time. It gives me validation for the choices I've made in life.
Yeah.
Anyway, why do you tell people they can follow you on the internet, Danfield?
Well, real quick, I want to give a sideways shout out to something I've been working on lately. It's everyone wants an iPhone X. They're hard to get. I'm helping a friend of mine out with a company of his. I'm plugging some shit right now, Dylan, okay? Hey, go to www.isinstock.com. It's a little company I'm helping out where if you want to get the SNES Classic or the iPhone X, it's a tool we built that'll text you when it's like in stock at the Best Buy or Apple or GameStop down the street from you. Yeah, so
So
this
you're like
holiday
a part
season,
owner of this company?
I'm helping them out. Yeah, it's I'm one of the founders.
There you go.
You know, I'm doing this. So yeah, is in stock. So if you're trying to find
smart
some
passive income.
I need some passive income,
Yeah.
my man. So if you're trying to find some hot shit that is not in store, isinstock.com.
That's going to be
it's
useful
cool.
coming up in this holiday season.
It's true. Don't be a douchebag trying to get your kid a fingerling or one of these things. You can use our website to find it. Yes, a fingerling is a toy for children, by the way.
What's it called again? Not the fingerling. What's the website?
Oh, is in stock. www.isinstock.com.
All right, I'll put it in the show notes too.
Okay.
This was sponsored by Is in Stock. So
All right. Thank you.
where can people
hear
more of you and follow you?
Whatever. Listen, if you don't listen to my podcast by now, you never will. SaveForTheShow.com. Please do.
But you could write a review if you had. Where can people follow you on the internet?
Follow me on Twitter at SIF Show, SIFT Show.
You can follow me at Schuckster, that's SCHUCKSTR. We just did a very in-depth review of Thor Ragnarok, discussed the entire Marvel universe in general, and we talked a lot about the Thor trilogy, and I actually really enjoyed the Thor Ragnarok, so check that out. This upcoming week, we're reviewing Murder in the Orient Express. This is on the Watch and Talk podcast. If you haven't seen these movies, you can still listen. There's still tons of content to listen to, and a non-spoiler review at the beginning, and then a spoiler section at the end, so you can listen to it most of the episodes even without spoiler section. So that's again at thewatchandtalk.com. You can follow me at Twitter at Schuckster for the show. You can follow us at Dead Inside Show. You can go to deadinsideshow.com. Email us deadinsideshow@gmail.com, and you can go to facebook.com/thewatchandtalk. And that's it. I'm Dylan Chuck.
I'm Dan Fields.
And we'll see you next week.
Was that delayed or something?
It took you a long time. Yeah, I didn't hear your response.
That's weird. Yeah, you were cutting out too, so it's perfect timing.
Hold on one second. And we'll see you next week. I said for that part. All right. All right, good man. Well, send this over to me whenever you can, and I will. We'll talk next week.
All right, sounds good.
And bye, everybody in the chat. You guys are good.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me pop over there.
Jesse and English Paul and Malika. Thank you guys for.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, guys. I'll talk to everybody.
All right, man. Take care, dude.